Hello, everyone. This is Tommy, World at War Comics. I am the creator of Kingsville, an amazing comic book that we launched this year. And issue 2 Kickstarter starts this week, the 30th of November. Go to Kickstarter, type in Kingsville. Our Kickstarter will pop up, and there, hit the notify button. That way you're reminded. All right, today we have an amazing guest for you. But before we get into that, please hit that subscribe button, hit that ring bell. That way you're notified every time we have another amazing guest on the podcast. And remember, we have 2 amazing partners. Our first partner is CN Chili, CIENCHILES.com. CN Chili is the best hot sauce you could buy. And if you use comics at checkout, you'll save 15% off your total order. So go to cnchiles.com today and get your hot sauce. And our partners at Comic Crusaders, the best in comic book reviews, movie reviews, music reviews. Even Comic Crusaders on YouTube has some of the best interviews that you will find. ComicCrusaders.com. Check them out. All right, without further ado, our next guest on the podcast today is Jermael Lessey. He is the writer and the creator of Absolver for KonKret Comics. We had a blast talking about the creative process, what went into Absolver, some of the influences that went into Absolver, his partnership with KonKret Comics and how that came together, and so much more. Without further ado, Jermael and myself. Thanks, everybody. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to World at War Comics. I have another amazing guest today, Jermael Lessey. Jermael, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. Just excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. We've talked before. You've been on the podcast once before, but today it's all about you, and it's all about Absolver, this bad boy right here that is dope as hell, man. If you haven't read this, get on over to KonKret Comics and get your copies now because it'll blow you away, man. I love it, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the love.
Oh, of course, man. It's so good. I've absolutely adored it, man. I know the last time you and I talked, man, you grew up a big Spawn fan. And
Yeah.
I would love to kind of hear from you how Spawn affected you growing up as a comic book fan and how it has played a little bit of a part in the creation of Absolver.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So, grew up in the church.
Yeah.
Father used to always take us to church and here and there. But while I was in church, I was always more excited about the stories that are being told versus the actual reason of going to church. I just enjoy, the conversation with angels and demons and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then, one of my sisters, who's older than me, she got into Greek mythology.
Oh, wow.
And that was just intriguing for me. And every time she would learn in school, she'd come home and talk about it and stuff like that. So during this whole time, I'm Spider-Man, Superman, Batman fan.
Yeah.
Go to school, switch to school, and I get this new friend, and he brings in this comic book called Spawn. Man, you just instantly become a fan because Spawn looked like nothing I haven't seen before. Marvel and DC was 2 folks who were keeping things clean.
Yeah.
But here was Spawn. He was rugged. His outfit was crazy to change. And then, of course, the violence and the blood and the gore. But more so, it was linked to spiritual stuff, whether it's heaven, hell. And again, I was already intrigued.
Yeah.
So from that point, I just became an instant fan.
Yeah.
So as I got older, I realized Spawn's story, he wasn't the typical hero that you're used to. He's really a guy that can do shit, that's trying to survive and get what he wants. So it's obviously his wife back. Yeah. And he made a bad deal.
Right.
And then again, being older and then rereading Spawn, I liked how he went after Billy Kincaid, the child murderer. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just liked that because you're so used to your heroes only taking care of the Mr. Freezes and the Dr. Octopuses and stuff like that. Nothing that regular people deal with. So once I had my son, that type of enemy really resonated with me. You know what I'm saying? And I realized we don't have enough heroes that take care of the little guys. We always focus on these big, overpowerful villains.
Right, right.
But we fell in love with Spider-Man because of relatability.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So who takes care of the little guys for us? So yes, Absolver is somebody that dies and comes back, just like Spawn. He does dwell in the spiritual realm. You know, Batman and Spawn made me a fan of cloaks.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of us. I just love the whole flowy thing. So yeah, just the foundational aspects of Spawn
yeah.
is what I embedded in Absolver. You know, and so and not just a sense of Spawn. You know, you can look at that Ghost Rider.
Yeah, absolutely.
Foundation.
Yep.
I was talking to Lonzo about it today. You could look at Silver Surfer. You know, man needed to make a deal with some god entity to survive.
Yeah,
you know, so not that I'm not saying Absolver made a deal. I'm not saying that. But yeah, that's basically the blurred lines of the inspiration from Spawn.
Yeah. And again, man, it's not Spawn, right? It's definitely its own story. It's definitely its own character in its own world. And there is so much that is different from Spawn. But I remember in our last conversation, you just kind of talking about how Spawn had this effect on you and a love for comics in a different way than your traditional like superheroes, because Absolver certainly isn't a traditional type of a hero. He is kind of that anti-hero, but has this unique ability to kind of capture what's taking place in someone and be able to understand what caused whatever issue happened with that, right? And I think it starts with an animal and then it kind of moves on from there, right? So I don't want to give too much of the story away because we want people to get it, but it's a very unique story. It's certainly in that spiritual realm. But man, it's dark, it's gritty, and it's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, man. So we jumped through issue 1. You're on issue 3 right now. What are some of the news for Absolver moving forward?
So issue 4 is in production.
Nice.
I definitely want to get it out to the world next year, but I'm pushing real hard to get issue 4 and issue 5 out next year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I want to be completely done with the arc. The following arc, I'll be taking over the coloring in that. And then, you know, it was just funny. We were just talking about it the other day, yesterday, you know, working on this new run for Absolver as well. I want to finally tell the story of a more grittier, a more darker side of it, you know. I want to show how the Vanquish really works. I want to show people the communication on why and how. So I mean, this new story would be told from the perspective of the people or the city, and Absolver just lives in there. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to just follow Absolver, just follow the regular run. But this other one is more or less. This is the one where I'm allowed to just go all out and read at your own risk. You know, you know, so if you thought that was the regular run, it was gritty and graphical, this one is going to be intense. It's going to be real intense.
So are we talking like a separate title that will run parallel with Absolver then?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because, you know, upon creating, you know, you got to realize where you are in life. I know where I'm at, how old I am.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So there's only so much story I have to tell. Yeah. You know, I'm not in a position where I can release a story every month. Yeah. So you kind of spread out the story. But, you know, just if I, as a fan, from a fan perspective, reading my own story, I'm like, there's a lot of things I could answer or should answer. But this was always intentional from the beginning. I've always wanted to tell 2 separate stories with Absolver.
Yeah.
You know, right now I'm stuck on the name Prince of the Oblivion. You know, like that'll be the run. But prior to that, it was called Cursed City because I was going to focus on Caesar City and tell this grittier side. So
I mean, both are dope names though. Both are
I appreciate it. But yeah, definitely. That's always been the plan to Because when you join this, you like I said, you look at your time and you look at your age, you look at your finances, you look at the fact that you got so much characters and stories that you want to tell. So
Yeah.
so there is a time gap and stuff like that between issue 1 and issue 2. Like I
Yep.
said, everything's intentionally done.
Mm-hmm.
After reading issue 2, there's stories that can be told between 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 picks up exactly where 3 was left off,
Yeah.
and 5 will pick up directly after 4. So from issue 1 to issue 3, there's a whole bunch of stories that can be told, that
Yeah.
needs to be told. So, but like I said, all intentional.
Yeah. Well, that's really exciting that the Absolver world is going to expand, because I wasn't expecting to hear that from you today. I was just hoping that we would get an issue 4 and you drop 4 and 5, but then this new information, Jermael. I mean, that sounds pretty amazing. I love the aspect of you're following Absolver on this first arc and seeing it from Absolver's point of view. And also there's a couple other characters that follow Absolver that really help him in a lot of decision making. And we could talk a little bit more about that. But then you have this other aspect of Caesar City and the viewpoint of what the city possibly thinks of Absolver, or the
Right.
effect of Absolver on the city from the city perspective.
Yes, one Easter egg I will give away is how issue 3 opened up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's very telling, because the city is aware of something, and they gave him a nickname.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just the story. That's just where I want to go. And for those that don't know, because Absolver was supposed to be. He was supposed to be literally thread the line between good and evil. He was just like a lion in a cage.
Yeah.
A lion is a lion. If you jump in the lion's cage, that's on you. Whatever happens, it's on you. And that's how I made Absolver.
Yeah.
But because KonKret Comics was a group thing, after certain conversations, I had to, change a few things. But
Yeah.
Prince of Oblivion or Curse City
Yeah.
is definitely where I'm gonna be allowed to really, really flex and show the real power of Absolver.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, maybe we could kind of just talk a little bit about issue 1, if you're okay. We certainly want people to jump in, but you got 3 issues. Let's kind of wet their mouth a little bit with some of the art and some of the story here, because there's some pretty unique characters that are developed just in issue 1 alone, let alone when you get into issue 2 and 3, right? So like you said, it takes place in Curse City. Or Caesar City. Caesar City, sorry.
Yeah.
I got Curse City in my mind now because of what you said. Let's make sure this is issue 3. I'm like looking at this going, this ain't issue 1. Let's see. There it is. So yeah, I don't want to give away issue 3, but yeah, man, let's just take a look at some of the. Well, let's start with the covers, man, because the covers are amazing.
Appreciate
Absolutely
it.
incredible, man. And like you said, that flowing cape from Batman and Spawn is all there. Your artist that did the cover on this one, which one was it on this one?
Bruno.
Oh yeah, Bruno, man. That's why. Look at that. That's tight as hell, man. All right, and then we get into issue 2. Here's the cover for that.
Yeah,
that looks so
love
nice.
that cover.
Yeah, cover is so nice, so clean. And then here's issue 3, and I love this one too, just kind of sitting on a throne almost, right? It looks pretty tight. So we get into issue number 1, and like you said, it takes place in Caesar City. And I wanted to maybe have you share a little bit on a couple specifically right here, because he gets some help, and he's not working alone.
Yeah, so that's Leah. Leah's another mezzo.
Exactly.
And she's just basically his guide.
Yeah.
Because, I wanted to speed things up. I didn't want to tell a story of Absolver's already a story that's dragging.
Yeah.
There's a lot of explaining, a lot of stuff going on. And I didn't want to drag it out more by having him learn by himself.
Yeah.
So he has somebody that can hold his hand and walk him around and teach him and show him. I could speed the story up a little bit more.
Right.
So that was the importance of Leah. Leah was supposed to come in, do that, and then disappear. But I fell in love with her, so I was like, she's gonna stick around.
She looks
And
amazing too, man, by the way.
I appreciate it. So she's definitely stuck around, and then you can, as you can tell, she evolves a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so that was basically Leah's purpose.
Yeah. But even her costume, man, how it kind of goes up into her, like, I don't know how to explain that, man. It's almost like it's a living part of who she is.
Yeah.
Almost like, right, because if you read Spawn, right, his outfit actually is him.
Right.
And he can control it. And I almost felt like with Leah, it's kind of very similar, man. Just the way she looked. I don't know if that's how you intended it, but it looks dope, man. How it
Yeah,
just
when I designed her, the simplistic designs is something I was going for
yeah.
both Absolver and Leah.
Mm-hmm.
And because I told myself any character I create, there's always going to be an evolution.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to I don't want you to see the same character from issue 1 now in issue 10, 20.
Yeah.
There needs to be an evolution with purpose. I am very heavily inspired by anime and manga, and they always have the transformations and the different looks, and so I said why not,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
and then growing up as well, all our action figures, like Batman had action figures, and so a different outfit for every single situation.
Exactly.
Submarine Batman, astronaut Batman. I'm like, why don't we do this in the comics normally?
Yeah, exactly.
So the designs, it was something that was intentionally done.
Yeah.
I can say that for sure.
Nice, nice. Well, when we look at Absolver, right, he has a very unique like skill set. Can you kind of talk to us a little bit about that skill set and his powers and what makes him so unique?
So Absolver has this ability called Vanquish. And what that allows him to do is copy the abilities, the knowledge, the instincts, anything of any creature that's living or basically has a soul.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a soul, had a soul, have a soul, the Vanquish can definitely copy that. And then Absolver is now able, in return, able to do the same thing,
right,
as you. So and that movie, that was definitely inspired from Shang Tsung. I'm not going to hide it. Shang Tsung and Ermac. I feel like that's I just love it. It just makes sense for who he is.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was the best way for me to separate him from the counterparts he gets compared to.
Yeah.
Spawn can almost do practically anything he puts his mind to, but I've never seen him do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Ghost Rider has his abilities, and so I figure I'm like, you know what, this is the one I'm gonna go with, and I built around that.
And it kind of it has the ability to kind of match the darkness and the grittiness that I think you're trying to portray within Absolver as well. So that makes perfect sense that those souls, right, will be able to speak to him and that he would be able to take on whatever that ability was. So that's pretty cool, man, because there's a unique thing, if I'm not mistaken, right, it's a cat. Yeah, where he's able to, once the cat is dead, to be able to speak and to understand and actually question it, right? And to be able to get even that feeling of what that animal, or like you said, it's really the living soul, from that living soul, what it went through.
Right. Absolver was just fine-tuned under feelings, emotion. A lot of people that heard me before Absolver is meant to be something totally different. But after that Trayvon Martin case and George Zimmerman got off, I just felt passion for the mom and the father. I felt a sense of vengeance and vindictiveness.
Yeah.
So Absolver just really is a manifestation of my feelings during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to keep him as honest as possible.
Yeah.
Everybody feels like they're too ashamed or too afraid, or they can't speak on the truth about things. I'm not. There's plenty of good in this world.
Sure.
Of course, the bad outweighs the good, but there's plenty of good in this world.
Yeah.
But we cannot ignore what people really feel like. Issue 2 in the beginning of issue 2, like I really feel that way. That wasn't done because this would be cool for Absolver to do it. Like, no, that's how I feel. I'm going to be honest about it. That's not something I will sugarcoat, especially being a parent.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like Absolver allows me to vent my ugliness and my frustration.
Yeah.
And allow me to be free and open with all the other characters I want to get out there where I could be fun and so, and even issue 5, and I know we still on issue 1, but issue 5 is going to open up with real events that happened around the world and nobody talks about.
Wow.
Of course I'm gonna break it down to comic book form,
Sure.
but these things like really happen. Jermail's not writing it because he's sick-minded. Like, no.
Yeah.
If you do your research, this is what's happening in our own country.
Yeah.
A father killed his son by feeding him to some alligator in Florida.
It's crazy, man.
Now, if you read that in the comic book, Jermail's demented. Like, no. Jermail just pulled that from the news and put it in a comic, but this is really happening. So that's why I love Absolver as his platform.
Yeah.
That's what he is to me.
Yeah,
that's what he is to me.
To tell some of these stories, right?
Huh?
It gives you a lot of freedom to be able to tell some of these stories through Absolver. Huh?
Yeah, the main objective is, this is a fantasy world. You can have fun.
Yeah.
But most of the time, this is what Absolver deals with, like the realness that goes on in this world and that's just how I feel, man. So Absolver allows me to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I think, the beauty of indie comics too, right? I mean, if you were to go and write for, a larger publisher that has a character that's 80 years old, you might be limited to what you're able to do with that character. But here you've created your own character, and now it's your world, man. Caesar is your world, man. So you could do anything and everything you want with that character within that world, and it all makes sense because it's something that you've created, right? And so I think it's awesome that anybody who's a creator has this platform to be able to share whatever they're going through or whatever story they want to tell through their creation. And I mean, Jermail, that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's all
Absolver
about.
is no different.
Yeah. I really pride myself in that aspect, and that's by all means, I'm not saying we need to see more of that. I don't think I'm in a league of my own.
Yeah.
I just feel as if, like, growing up and as a creator, you use these mediums as means to escape.
Yeah.
But just because you can escape, you still can't deny your reality.
Yeah.
So it's just a blend of both things.
Yeah.
You can escape. Like, yes, it's okay to feel angry and vindictive, like you want to kill that person for whatever reason. I'm not saying you should act on it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But definitely, I need you to understand that. And that's I told people that was the biggest strength Eminem had.
Yeah.
He was the only person willing to say and do the things he was saying and doing.
Yeah.
That came first, then his lyricism. Then how, what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that's what made him so great.
Yeah.
And I said, we got to get out these boxes. You can't tell me you don't feel that way or somebody doesn't feel that way. So yeah, man, that's just what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Well, I mean, can we also maybe talk a little bit about how you became part of this KonKret Comics team? Like, how did you get connected to KonKret with Absolver?
So I decided I definitely want to get to the comic book space heavy. And doing research and befriending people on Facebook, you asking questions and stuff like that. And there was a shit ton of gatekeeping, you know. So then Powerverse at the time was having its way for you to get into the Powerverse. So I got into the Powerverse. And it was through Powerverse I started to learn and understand the know-how to create and making comics. It's just that because I was so far back in line, I couldn't get started yet, but I'm impatient. Yeah. And it was in the Powerverse where I met Onaji, the writer and creator of Odina.
Yeah.
So him and I got talking, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go out here and look for an artist and look for artists. I found the places where I could go. First things first, find an artist.
Yeah.
So I didn't like the artist Powerverse picked for me at the time. I'm like, no, like that was not happening. So during my research and my hunt, I see this dope looking character. It's like blue with a hoodie fighting this dude in red. I'm like, yo, this artist is dope. So I hit up Lonzo. I'm like, yo, you drew this? He's like, nah, but this is my character. So we started talking. He seen my character. Yeah. And it was cool. The next thing you know, it led to us talking about my universe, his universe, and stuff like that. That led to shit, maybe we could do a crossover one day and stuff like that. I'm like, so we started talking about the crossover. And then it was more or less like Lonzo was like, oh, listen, I'm doing my own comic book company. And I'm like, shit, I'm about to start my own too. We might as well. Yeah. So Lonzo and I started really building this universe together.
Yeah.
The Sunshine reason I felt like, we needed more people or another edition. So we had some failed attempts. Like we was part of this one group, but everybody was looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't see the big picture of, let's come out together. And so we like, all right, so we scrapped that. And then I was like, oh, I know this dope creator named Onaji. I think you would love him. So it took forever for them to even link up and talk because, Onaji want to do his own thing. Lonzo has trust issues. So I was like, yo, so, but, they finally linked up and we started talking and we started building this universe together and then from there, once the plan was set, we just started pushing, promoting, making sure our books are done. They took Absolver from this monster to this soft creature you have in front of you, and KonKret Comics was born, and love it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many good books that are coming out of KonKret right now, and I know there's a lot more coming as well. I mean, just talking to Lonzo, man, so many new issues coming out next year. You got 4 and possibly 5 coming out. I know Carla has a Luna 2 coming. I mean, Deja Vu is, got, what was it, 3 coming.
2, yeah, 3 be next year,
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out, man. If anybody's listening to this and they haven't been to KonKret Comics, man, you got to check out the lineup because it's a lot of really high quality material that all of you are producing, man. So you should be very proud. It's really hard to get a publishing company off the ground. And it's really hard to maintain it, right? You start to lose talent or, somebody has their own idea of how they want things done. And it just happens, right? That's just life. But man, it's one of my favorite publishing companies, man.
I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I've become a huge fan and, I'm trying to get everybody on the podcast, man, just to talk it up because I'm telling you, man, it's good stuff, man. And people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hit the group up and let them know. Definitely to link out and reach out to you. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. It's all love.
Yeah.
It's all love, and judge free zone. Everybody deals with something. Everybody's going through stuff. I can speak for myself. I have my own personal issues, and the KonKret family held me down.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for, man. And that's why I love it,
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Lonzo just seems like such a stand-up human being.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall.
Serious? No.
He's putting on the show. Nah,
Every
he's
time I talk
people.
to
He's
that guy, man,
people.
he's down for anything, man. He's just a pretty cool dude, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, it's been really awesome to watch the growth and to see all the cool things going on. Obviously people could go to KonKret Comics to pick up Absolver. Are you planning on doing any cons next year?
I'm trying to get to as much cons as possible.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, my work and state situation is about to change. So I don't know how often I'll be able to get to these cons.
Sure, sure.
But
Nothing
definitely
set in
as much
stone
as
like today.
huh?
Nothing kind of set in stone today, like for the first
Yeah,
half.
nothing really set in stone for me. But like I said, I'm gonna try to get out there as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah,
I think the goal for me right now is to honestly really get issue 4 and issue 5 out.
yeah,
Um, and then I could really feel more comfortable like getting Absolver to more comic book shops.
yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
know, so to me that's the goal. Cons are cool. Um, but we'll see.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see. We'll
I
see.
mean, I think most people in the indie comic world, at least, right? They're doing this on the side of doing like a real job and everything else in their life, right? Family, all that good stuff. So I think that's everyone understands that very much, man. It's
Yeah.
really difficult, right? To come to a point where comic books now pays for all of your bills, man. But I would tell you, man, the way Concrete's growing, man, you guys might be one of the first ones to get there.
Yeah, man. But we all see money as the bonus. At least I do. I'm gonna speak for myself. At least
Yeah.
I do. You know, it's
The passion.
I rather get my stories out. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm working on this crazy story. Like that's not even part of that Absolver, and not even with KonKret. I'm just writing the story.
Oh, cool.
It's something I have to get out. You
Yeah,
know, and that's what it is. It's just it's the creating process. It's the writing, the drawing, the character designs. You know, it's a story I'm writing. I designed the character. I'm like, no, I want something different. So I'm working on a whole new design. You know,
yeah.
and then to me, that's what it always is. It's always that. I love that. You
Hmm.
know, if you had to choose, Jimmy, would you rather have investors or X amount of dollars put in your bank account? Right now, I say, yo, give me the investors.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because I rather get my stories out there and stuff like that. I know it sounds crazy. You can take the money and invest in yourself, but 9 times out of 10, who's going to do that? You know, I'm gonna take care of my house, my car. You know what I'm saying? Yo, just give me the
Life
investors.
happens, man.
Yeah, life happens. So just give me the investors so I can get all these books out before I'm dead. You know, I'm only getting older. You know what I'm saying? I got a shit ton of stories to tell. You
Yeah,
know, and I got to leave something for my son, and that's what's important to me.
that's cool, man. So
Yeah.
when did this passion for writing start in your life? Was it kind of always there, or at a certain point you just said, "Man, I really enjoy creating and telling stories"?
Well, I'll always say I was always a dreamer.
Hmm.
You know, I always had a crazy imagination. I think the first comic I ever drew for myself was a Sub-Zero versus Scorpion comic.
Nice.
Um, but my writing didn't take off until like the beginning of high school.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, growing up, you know, you go through that stage where you feel like nobody listens to you and nobody hears you and stuff like that. So I started writing poetry,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff that I kept to myself, and that became spoken word,
Yeah.
you know. And then spoken word transitioned to, damn, I want to get back and telling a comic book story. Like, what am I doing? So I started creating characters, writing stories, but like everybody didn't know no different. You just wrote stories like chapters. You didn't break it down for comic book form.
Right. Yeah.
So once you learn, like I can find it. I got stories. That's why
Yeah.
I tell people like I'm serious about this thing. Absolver was honestly, I don't think a lot of people know. Absolver was as much as I love Absolver, he was what I call my sacrificial lamb.
Mm.
Like, cause I didn't understand the comic book business. So if anybody's going to steal some shit or copy Absolver or whatever, I was sign any bad contracts.
Yeah.
Fine, take Absolver. That's how much characters I have. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with Absolver.
Yeah.
Absolver wasn't even meant to become this popular.
Yeah.
You know, like, but that's just how it happened, man. I was always crazy imagination, so it just creating comic books always just makes sense.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's awesome, bro. Man. Well, what else are we leaving out, Jamil? Man,
Um,
got issue 4 and 5 coming. You got the second title, possibly Cursed City. What was the other one? Prince
Prince of the Oblivion.
Oblivion. I mean, I can't wait to see what this one's going to be about, man. Anything else that you're working on that maybe we haven't talked about that you're allowed to talk about, or not yet?
I mean, yeah. I'm still working on that Adze story that a lot of people loved. You know, that preview came out so long ago, but that's another passion story. But that takes a ton of research
Yeah.
um to write. The current story I'm working on, if you read Nemesis by Mark Miller, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
Of Nemesis, man.
that inspired this next story that I'm working on.
Damn.
So I'm not even gonna lie. Once I read it, it's like boom. But so that's what I'm working on. But I'm always working. Like I said, character design, stories.
Yeah.
Um, I'm always working. There's there's nothing that we miss. I think Absolver 4, I think people are going to really appreciate Absolver 4.
Uh-huh.
But Absolver, you know, because I said it takes directly after issue 3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of people don't understand that in issue 2 he like teleported away and didn't realize he could do that.
Yeah.
So issue 4 he really takes advantage of that.
Yeah.
Advantage of that. But issue 5, I'm gonna close that out in real nice. I think you're gonna see the most action and blood splatter in Absolver ever. I'm thinking that's gonna be probably my biggest issue. Like
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be I think I'll at least have issue 5, at least 3 chapters within the book. I'm not that's my goal. I know Lonzo wanted me to make it smaller, and I'm like, nah, bro, I just want to write. I just want to write, close it out, and get it out. Because moving forward, that's how I'm going to be doing Absolver books. You know, X amount of chapters a time for the year.
Yeah.
Drop something else that's not Absolver, and then next year come back with the next one, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much it. I think it's time Absolver starts to spread his wings and show why he's the real original legendary character of KonKret Comics. You know, and listen, I'm just being honest. I'm not even talking shit. I'm just out of every character in KonKret, I think Absolver is the best. I'm not even being biased, you know. So if you don't see me online for a while, you know why.
I can't wait for everybody else to hear this, man.
Man, listen, they can hear it. Like, no, story wise, character wise, Absolver is the most original character out there right now. I'm talking heavy because you know I always exist in the shadows behind everybody. So every little chance I get to poke my head out, I will. You know, so Absolver is the guy. You know, and I like his cult following. I don't need a big fan base. I like my small group of Absolverians. That's what you would call it. You know, so
nah,
no, it's a great process. I feel everybody should do comics.
Yeah.
You know, it's very therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't realize how much you let out just by writing and expressing yourself. You know, you might think that you're just telling a story, but then you realize after you reread what you wrote, you're like, wow, what was I feeling when I wrote that? You know, it's very therapeutic, you know, and it's something everybody can do, and you can always find a fan off of that. You know, it's I think everybody should do comics. You know, everybody got a shit ton of ideas, and you know, it'll be dope.
It would be.
It'll be dope. You know.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt, man.
So,
no doubt. It is therapeutic. It is awesome to get your stories out there, and it's almost a relief, right? to be able to load that story that you're kind of holding within, because you could tell someone about it, but when you put it in comic form and they see the pages pop off and the story comes almost to life, it's a different feeling, man.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, because the goal is to tell your story.
Yeah.
Not the story you hope everybody's going to like and approve of and stuff like that. Like, because when you too focus on chasing popularity and likes, I'm not even talking about social media, just in general.
Yeah.
You know, you become very what's the word I'm looking for?
Superficial, or
it can be very you know, it's like a dog chasing his tail. That like, because you always choose it looking for somebody to approve of your work. Like, no, you don't need no validation. My first review with Absolver, the guy, he really, really liked it, but he asked me, you know, if I can, you know, change it a little bit or make it a little bit more kid friendly and stuff like that. And it really, I really sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, damn, maybe I'm going to work on two versions: the story I want to tell and the story for everybody.
Yeah.
And then, so while contemplating, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
No disrespect to him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but just like we spoke before, there's a reason for Absolver. You know what I'm saying? That I don't think Absolver is my $1 million cash cow. You understand what I'm trying to say? Absolver is for me. That's where I get my release, because the world is ugly. I feel some type of way. I feel for the mother that lost their child to stupid shit and vice versa. I don't care what the color of your skin is. You know, like, I feel children are innocent across the board.
Right.
Children should not be involved in politics, sexuality, rapists, child. Like, I think children should be untouched.
Agree.
It shouldn't be touched at all. And then there's other things. So Absolver allows me to live that.
Yeah.
And Absolver is for anybody that may feel this way about a specific topic or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, nah, that's not what Absolver is for.
Yeah.
Now, this other story I'm working for, yeah, that's my cash cow. Okay. You know, I need Amazon, somebody to pick it up. You know, what's going on? You know, like, y'all gonna love this one. And I feel like that's why I feel like people should pick it up. You know, when I created Adze, it wasn't because I wanted to tell a story about a hero freeing slaves and killing the white man. On the surface, that's what people are gonna look at it as.
Yeah.
It was because all my life, all I got was slave movies and that feeling of watching what's going on with these slaves. And don't take it the wrong way, but we always had some white man hero. Like, yo, when are we ever going to have the story for us?
Yeah.
And when are we going to have our hero? I think our first hero was like Django.
Yeah.
You know, respectfully, you know, but it wasn't that type of movie. So, you know, so I was like, you know what? That's what the Adze is going to be about. But I wasn't going to sugarcoat what happened neither. I was going to show this really happened. Now, this is the response. This is how I felt when I watched those slave movies. This is what this is about. And so I feel like it's very important that, that's what I say. I think it's very important that I feel like everybody should write a comic. You don't gotta produce it, but you will see how therapeutic it is. It's you know, write it and keep it to yourself if you must, or write it and share it to the world if you want to. But it's very, very therapeutic. I don't know, Lonzo will appreciate me saying this.
Yeah.
I know he'd be fine, but when we first started and we should look over each other's things, you know, and I was reading Acolyte. I'm like, bro, that don't even sound like you. He's like, what you mean? I'm like, bro, if Acolyte is you, then make him sound like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will appreciate it. I guarantee you, people will appreciate it. And then, mind you, he didn't go against it. You know, that's how we are. We just give each other feedback.
Right.
But I'm saying that to say, like, I understand your character's a Spider-Man clone, but it don't have to be Spider-Man. It can be you. Yeah. It's okay that we see the similarity to Spider-Man, but come on. What do
Yeah.
you sound like? What would you say? What would you do? And that's usually how I tackle a lot of my stories. I'd like if it's a female character, if I was this female in this position, what would I do? How would I feel? I
Mhm.
write that. And that's something I learned during writing poetry and spoken word. You know, you write for that one person that you may be able to touch and reach.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't write for the world because and then that's what's important. I feel that's what's important. I feel like that's the side of the comic book industry that nobody talks about. They see character development, characters having fun, but a lot of us, we're just geniuses. You know, if you're artistic and you're a dope writer, you're
Hmm.
a genius.
Yeah.
And most geniuses, they have to use that specific platform to express.
Yeah.
And and if you don't have a lane to express, then I try it.
Yeah.
For those listening, try it. Try writing a comic. Try writing a story. I feel you will feel a whole lot better just getting it out. Especially
Yeah.
if you don't know how to talk to nobody or don't have anybody to talk to. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's such a good advice, Jermael, for sure, man. Because I think a lot of people do have some stories, or if not a story, they have experiences that they need to release, and they maybe never tried it through a story. And man, I agree with you. Comic books is a great avenue to be able to tell the story, man, and to bring
Yeah,
it
it
to
is.
life through the visual. And it's just incredible, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. And on the flip side, it only takes one person to believe in what you got going on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry I can't remember her name right now, but the lady that wrote Harry Potter.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
He's like, I'm homeless, I'm struggling. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm a writer story.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at her. You know, again, that's not everybody's story,
Yeah.
but if it's 0.0000001, that's still a chance.
Yeah.
Or you know, that's still a percentage in a world of so much. You
Yeah.
might just be on the elevator
Yeah.
with somebody looking for the next big story. Pitch. Well, listen, I wrote this story like 3 months ago. I don't need like pitch. Because a lot of people that have the money, they don't have your imagination. They don't have the concepts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, just write a story, write a comic. You
Exactly.
never know.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't think I have much else going on in the comic
It's
book
a lot,
world.
Jermail. I think you got a lot going on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, it's fun. It's just fun. It's a ride. It's a
For,
ride.
for sure, man. For sure.
It's a ride. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. I'm trying to think whether I should give shit away or not, but I think I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, yeah, no, man. Don't do anything that you'll regret later, man. You're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that
No,
yet.
no, no, no. It's definitely okay. There's
Yeah,
we don't.
yeah. Man, you're welcome on this podcast anytime you want, man. So yeah, when you're ready, you let me know and we'll do it.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And I'm a fan
I
of your work, man. And yeah, you're welcome anytime, man. I really do enjoy Absolver. And if anyone's listening, I'm telling you, man, pick it up. It'll blow you away. The art is insane. The writing's insane. The character is amazing. I mean, just make sure I'm showing issue one. I mean, look at this stuff, man. It's so dope, dude.
right, right. Well, issue one is actually going to get is getting redrawn and
Oh,
rewritten.
really? The drawings
Yeah,
are pretty dope, man.
yeah. Because I want to keep the same artistic continuity.
Oh, with the
So the same art
two.
team, one and two. There's certain things I could have wrote it better.
Mm,
So I just want to change a few things. Um, explain repellent a little bit more in issue one for issue two.
mhm.
Um, everybody says I need to show more of that fight between Absolver and that demonic ape demon. But I'm like, nah, I don't want to. I think there's so much fun behind mysteries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And then
Issue five is gonna have this crazy scene, man. You know what I mean? You're like, it's like a slow build up to that, and then boom.
right. But then it's like I always tell people like you gotta leave. Like when it gets stale or you cannot think of something to write, you
Yeah.
gotta leave things that you can get back to. So like if I needed to tell a story of a past what's it called again?
A past.
Yeah, if I had to tell something that happened prior, if I'm in a
Uh-huh.
present story and I got to tell something that happened prior, so I
Yeah, yeah,
can't think of it right now. Um, I have that window of opportunity right there. Show that Absolver fighting that demon.
yeah,
I can
yeah,
always make it full circle. So when I map out my stories, I
yeah,
always create things I can go back to open up a door in the present. And I
yeah.
said you have to leave these things open. And the cool thing is, if I reference that hole in issue 13,
Mhm.
and let's say you picked it up at issue 13, and
Yeah.
it's that little box tell you, oh, this happened in issue 1. What's the first thing you're gonna do? Damn, let me go back over by issue 1. I gotta see what happened. And if I got caught like that, I'm trying to get you caught like that. So that's always the goal, man. You always gotta leave something. You always
Yeah,
gotta leave something.
for sure, man. All right, Mr. Jamil. Well, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you hopping on again, man. Like I said, you're always welcome, my friend. And if anybody's listening, man, KonKret Comics, Absolver, don't don't miss out on a next amazing read by not picking it up, man. Everything
Appreciate it.
that the KonKret family's putting together has been money every single time. So congratulations on 3 issues so far. Cannot wait for 4 and 5 and this other title that you're working on to be named later. Man, let's go.
Yeah, man. Today I found it. I was like, hold on, I can use this artist. Him
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just say it because I hope he says yes. Adam Jakes, he did the variant cover of Absolver for me. At least that cover where Absolver sitting on some skulls and it's like the
Uh-huh.
red background. I don't know if you have
Yeah.
that cover. Yeah, he drew that one and I colored it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hit up Adam Jakes. He's perfect for Prince of Oblivion or Curse City. So hopefully he says yes. So we'll see.
I hope so
We'll
too,
see.
man. I hope so too.
Yeah.
Well, right on, Mr. Jamil. Thank you again for joining. And whenever you want to come back on, just hit me up, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely I will. Thanks for having me, guys. Next time.
All
Next
right.
time.
All
All
right.
right.
Have a good week, man.
You too.
All right. Bye.